Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Idle Angels video. And since today is Friday, we have the new events coming up to the game. And actually, we did get a new event, which is a bit similar to what we had during the anniversary, but finally we can get engraving shards. And since today there are a lot of stuff to be talking about, and I don't want to make the video too long, I'm just going to straight up go through all of the events. First, we are starting with the Start Wish collection. Over here, you have the new Fuxi skin. So if you would like to buy it, feel free to do so. Souvenir card is something nice because it's relatively cheap for the blues that you get, so it's a good deal. And on the Start and Moon phase, there is something that you also might like in terms of blues per money spent, so that is okay to grab. Then we have the Gift of Stars. On the Gift of Stars, it is something that we are now familiar with. Basically, from idling and then from either spending money, getting the daily tasks completed, or summoning, you will get a few of those meteor shards, which then you can use to open the chest. And over here on the top, you can see what rewards you can get for opening the chest. And on the bottom part is if you open those small satchels over here, they will be rewarding you some shards. And additionally, you can get some of the rewards here on the bottom, which is very, very nice. The Star Shop, in my opinion, probably the best available stuff to get is the blue scrolls. But if you are on a newer account and you need those tier 4, tier 5 chests or the SSR plus Angel Relic chest, those are some of the things you might want to grab. Or if you need the Destiny Stars, it's just something that will help you essentially progress a bit faster and a bit better. And for the older players or the players that are strictly going for the essence engravings and upgrading those new relics, the Destiny Essence will be definitely something nice to grab. But once again, this one is for a later on players, because early on, definitely the tier 4, tier 5 chest, Destiny Star or SSR plus relic chest, all those four will be more beneficial. And of course, the 5 blues are nice to grab, but I'm not going to spend anything on the shop until the last day, so I can see how many of those coins I could accumulate and then do the choices after that. Over here in the exchange redeemable items, the best option is to grab the blue scrolls, which have 5 only attempts to grab. So it's for 60 of those radiant sigils with the radiant dust. After you get those, you either go for the tier 3 or tier 4 chest if you need them, or the tier 5, depending on what you really need. Maybe you can go for the Forging Fire, but once again, this is something for late game when you just need to create those gems for the illusionary corridor. So you have 7 free attempts. As you know, you could always try your best over there with RNG. So this is something definitely for later on to worry about. And also the blue scrolls is something very nice to grab if you are not in big of a need for the tier 2, tier 4, or tier 5 chests. In my opinion, that is the best decision to always grab the blue scrolls. After that, we have the weekend sale event. Now, in short terms for the weekend sale event, it is a great event because you receive 2 additional shards every 10 summons that you do for either SSR plus, UR, or UR plus levels. The angels that are available are Capricorn, Athena, Azura, Horus, Sim, Frigga, Storm Dragon, and Prometheus. In very short, Prometheus is a skip because it's a expensive DPS and it's not that great into the game. Storm Dragon, same thing. SSR plus, very expensive, not that worth to grab. Azura was useful and she is good because she lowers the crit damage of the enemy team, but it's more or less used for PvP, and with the releases of MR Angels, nobody really uses Azura or goes to build her, so that's a skip as well. Athena, a very nice DPS that does execution, so she is very strong for PvP, but you need to be going in only for the PvP aspect of the game, because for PvE you will be struggling with Athena. And of course, she's also very, very expensive. So keep in mind, if you want to build Athena, now is the best time to do so. But I don't really suggest doing that on a newer account. Frigga is a good good crowd control unit for PvP, but once again, it is SSR plus, it is very expensive, and if you are not willing to spend money, it will take you a lot of time to build her. So sadly, it is another skip of an angel. And now we have the most important part of this event, the Horus. You definitely want to get the UR and UR plus. You don't need any of the stars. You just need to unlock the UR plus, which is actually, you can see it will require you 60 shards if I'm not mistaken, and then after that you will be required to get 20 additional shards for the 1 star. You don't need 1 star, you only need to unlock the UR plus for Horus, and now is the best time to get it. If you are looking for the PvP aspects of the game, then you could go for the UR plus 1 star and later on build MR1 Horus. If you are wondering why, I recently uploaded the video on how to build Horus, where I explain why the MR powers are so useful. But in short, she is able to revive angels, so that's why for PvP it's very, very good. The second thing that I would suggest is grabbing Sim to UR plus 1, because this will allow you to get MR1 later on, and it is very, very useful because she is just a very, very good angel for PvE, and for PvP she can find her use with the death evasion that she provides, which is again very nice to have. So right now it is a good opportunity to grab UR plus 1 star for Sim, and you can worry about maxing her way later on, or if you want to max her, now is the best time to do so. And for the people that are having full HP teams using stuff like Medusa, Lilith, Hela, Capricorn is the best option to have and max out at MR5, because she is essentially buffing the max HP of the angels. But again, keep in mind, you don't need Capricorn for PvE at all. You only need Capricorn for PvP. So if you are looking for the PvP aspect of the game, you already have built HP based angels that require more HP to be stronger. That is the time you would go for Capricorn. Of course, during the weekend sale, what I do is I use my red scrolls in order to grab those shards to maximize the angels, and then in a way I max the SSR plus angels and get blue scrolls for free. So it is in a way a conversion from red scrolls to blue scrolls, which is very, very nice. On the wish pool, luckily we have nothing to talk about wish pool, because wish pool is with bad rebates. We only have SSR plus angels this week. You really don't care about Loki, Ra or Chaos. And then you have the Hera, which is being replaced by Fuxi for newer accounts, because Fuxi is just cheaper and it is more helpful for PvE. So in my opinion, the wish pool this week is just a complete total skip. Then we have the Incarnation Reborn. On Incarnation Reborn, we do have some nice angels to be built, like Hela and Aidan, Ares as well. But what is very important about Incarnation Reborn is that you can get one angel for free if it's SSR plus or UR based angel. So for instance, this week you can claim Hela for free, so feel free to do so. I do highly suggest to do that. Then for the Hela, you could actually start summoning for her, but in my opinion, it's better not to do that. Why? Because UR and UR plus do not have the actual event of 2 shards per 10 summons for the Hela. This is something exclusive to the weekend sale. So If you are already owning the UR and UR plus stars of Hela, then you can go for the MR summons. But if you don't own them, please don't really go for the UR and the UR plus levels of her. If you already maxed MR5 Hela, you could spend your blue scrolls into going for Incarnation levels of Hela. Otherwise, don't go for the Incarnation power, because the MR power is way better and way more useful. And essentially, if you build the ER, you will be just wasting blue scrolls, because Hela is not useful with her Incarnation power alone. The MR is the one you need to go for. Then we have Icarus. It's a DPS angel that received the engraving. With the engravings, Icarus is a nice, good DPS, definitely going up the ranks to probably top 5, I would say, especially for PvP. For PvE, I sadly cannot test that, but I have heard that for PvE, it helped her out with the damage a bit as well. Sadly, the news is that she is a very expensive angel, and the main issue I have with the engravings is that in order to get the engraving, you will need to farm during different events. And even if you get the SSR plus angel with the engraving, you need to upgrade the relics in order to get more slots for engravings. And at some point, I expect that the supports will be way better off having their engravings used rather than a SSR plus DPS that will use that engraving slot. So essentially, I expect that all these 6 slots will be filled for SSR plus support, but of course it is yet time to see. For now, if you have a DPS angel that is very lovely to you and to your taste, feel free to upgrade it if you want and use their engraving, but my suggestion will always be to go for MR based DPS. Now, Heimdall and Gemini, they received their new engravings today. So for that reason, they decided to implement the UR and UR plus 2 shards per 10 summons for those 2 angels only. So if you are going for the UR or UR plus levels, you could summon during the Incarnation Reborn, which is going to be an amazingly good thing for later on when the supports start getting their engravings. I did not really check the engravings and how good they are about Heimdall or Gemini, but what I would like to say is that Heimdall is a tank that is very focused on damage reflection, and a lot of MR based angels now ignore damage reflection, so more or less Heimdall becomes more and more useless into the game. And Gemini is overall a semi good DPS because she does nice AoE and she has shielding, but again it's SSR plus, which requires so many blue scrolls that by the time you max out Gemini, you will always get beaten by a player who's going with the MR based angels. This is just the sad part about the game. So in my opinion, it is a skip, even if their engraving is something incredibly good. Aiden is a support for the PvE aspect of the game with her MR, and then she is a PvP angel if we go to the Incarnation powers. So for PvE, I suggest MR5, and for PvP, I suggest Incarnation level 3, because Incarnation level 3 increases the speed of the angels that are on the front row, which essentially means that you will be acting first, or your angels will be acting first into the battle, which is very good. Of course, later on you would like Incarnation level 5 in order to put her into the subs, but if you are going for the PvE, MR5 is something you would like to grab. Ares is something people do like for PvE because she could negate the boss for a round, but I think the true power of Ares is PvP. Of course, it's good that she could be used in both situations, but in my opinion, she is just amazingly good to counter crowd control and to lower the skill damage of the enemies. And of course, there are different opportunities to use Ares, like I think Incarnation level 5 and MR1 was the sweet spot that you would like. but in my opinion, since the primary reason to use Ares is PvP, you will definitely want to max her out. If you're going for Ares, you can look forward to that. Don't forget to claim your free rewards and grab blue scrolls from the exchange with, of course, additional free rewards on the training speed and the divinity pack. Now, we did get a new event, Lucky Divination, which essentially is you log in to get those divination scrolls, after which you use 10 of these scrolls to get some points, and the grand prize is 6,000 of those radiant vials. I did 10 scrolls and I got 39 points. I don't know what the average of the points per day will be, but we need to average at least 50 points a day in order to be able to get the grand prize, which essentially means that if I'm getting 39 a day or around that number, most likely I will never be able to grab this one over here. And if we don't grab this one, means we will have less of those points for the shop, and with less points for the shop, most likely we won't be able to get the blue scrolls. Of course, you could pay to win your way if you would like to, and there could be a good reason to do that, simply because there is no way to get engraving shards unless you do the Lucky Divination event. As you can see, you can get 5 shards over here per event, and then to the bottom you have another 5 shards on the bottom over here 10 times. So this is 50 shards in total that you can get, but it costs a lot of those vials. Good news is you are definitely going to be able to buy out those 5 shards per event, but that means you need 10 times to participate in the Lucky Divination to get 1 angel engraving, or in short, it will take you 10 months in order to get 1 engraving, not shard, but one of the engraving power-ups for an angel. So it is better to start from now, because I do expect Sim, Hera, Horus, those Ember Dragon, those SSR plus angels at some point into the future to get their engravings, and if at that point you don't have some shards saved up, it will be very, very hard as a free-to-play player to do. So after you get the engraving shards, if you have additional points left, it will be very nice if we can grab those blue scrolls. Or if you are spending money, still I do believe that the engraving shard is something you should look forward to. And of course, the Destiny Relic shard selection chest is the only way right now we can upgrade the relics, which after you upgrade them, you can stop looking forward to those chests. But before that, you are definitely going to do your best to grab them from here. This is on the events over here. Now we move to the bakery. Bakery event is very simple, but it requires you to log in twice a day into the game. The energy will be stored for 12 hours at most. So after the 12th hour, you're losing energy, and you need this energy in order to be able to play the event. How to play the event? I do have a guide which is on how to play the bakery. I will post the guide, but essentially what happens is you will start with milk, which is going to be 1 point. You need to move twice, and then you need to move to the ×4. But again, it is very complicated when I cannot visualize it, so I will just leave a link to the guide itself in order to see it. And your goal is to log in twice a day in order to be able to reach the final reward, which is SSR plus Angel Relic, with of course a lot of blue scrolls and red scrolls and additional rewards between that. Smelt Master, you do your daily tasks and you claim a package for 10 smelt potions. When you reach 190 smelt potions, you start using those smelt potions over here, which will allow you to clear the first round and get 5 blue scrolls. After which, on the first chest, you buy the diamonds. On the second one, you buy the relic summon coupons. And on the third one, you buy the superior summon scroll 3 times. After that, if you have another 140 smelt potions, or in total 330 smelt potions, you use them because you will be able to exactly complete round 2, which gives you another 5 blue scrolls. And over here, it will allow you to instantly unlock the stage 5 with buying the other 30 blue scrolls, overall allowing you to get 30 plus 30, 60, and then we have another 10, 70 blue scrolls with this event. The limited summon is 1 free blue scroll, and then Lost Sanctuary, you always want to grab the first row until you max out all 12 angels to level 400. The bounty task is some nice additional keys depending on the different challenges that you have to complete daily. And lastly, how and when to use the keys. I use my keys at around 600 to 650 keys, and that's when I start spamming the event. I just click tap to open and then claim the rewards, which allows me to always reach level 30 with 600 to 650 keys. Like 600 is the bare minimum and you need to be quite lucky to get it with 600, but this is kind of the threshold mark. You want at least 600. And why it's good to stop at level 30, in my opinion, it's the best option. But if you are in need of like 15 or 20 blue scrolls, feel free to use the keys beforehand in order to reach either level 15, 20 or 25. And how to calculate it is basically 20 keys per level is what will be required in order to clear it. At the beginning, it will be faster with like 10 keys, but later on it will pile up. So in short, average is around 20 keys per level in order to finish it. That being said, this will be it for the weekly events video. Once again, thank you all for watching. I will try to update how to build Heimdall and how to build Gemini now that they have their engraving, so I can move past those two angels. So stay tuned for it. And again, thank you all for watching. Hope see you at the next video.